Hello and welcome, everyone. We'll give everyone a couple of seconds to join and get their setup ready. And then we'll start with the first semifinal of this year's Young Actuaries World Cup. Hello again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and unfortunately for some of you, good night. Welcome to today's Western Hemisphere semifinal of the Young Actuaries World Cup. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you. My name is Henning Bergen. I'm a member of the German Association of Actuaries, working there as a managing director of the association itself. Within the IAA, I'm chairing the education committee and been involved with the Young Actuaries World Cup for quite some time. It's my pleasure to walk you through today um, and, well, moderate what's going to happen. This is what we have planned for approximately the next plus minus 90 hours. We'll do a brief introduction of the judges, especially also a brief introduction of the semifinalists, the most important individuals with us today. We'll then perform a random draw to determine the sequence of the semifinalists. All semifinalists will give a 1-minute elevator speech, and based on the speech in combination with the video that was available or is available or have been available for quite some time, the participants, will vote on the 4 best candidates to then continue in the Young Actuaries World Cup. We will then again perform a random draw of the next sequence. Then the judges will ask one question each to every participant. They have 2 minutes to answer, and of course, the questions are on the video and on your presentations so far. Then we'll give the judges a deliberation of approximately 10 minutes, and we'll then announce the 2 top semifinalists to then go on to the finals. So without further ado, wrong way, this is the right way. 3 judges are going to support us in the semifinal. Inga Helman from Latvia. She is currently Corporate Control and Compliance Manager at Linstow Baltic after a long career at KPMG. She's very active in the IAA and AAE, currently as past president of the AAE. And Inga, it's a great pleasure to have you with us. Second, Marit Koosmeijer. She's Director Investments and Actuarial at Sprenkels, a Dutch pension consultant firm. She's also and has been very active in the IAA and AAE, especially as a member of the AAE Pensions Committee. Marit, also a pleasure to have you. Last but not least, Samuel Civi. He's a Délégué Général au Développement du Mouvement Actuariel et International at the French Institute des Actuaires. He's a member of the Advanced Committee of the IAA. He's a qualified actuary, but also has a background in trading and equity finance. So, Samuel, also a pleasure to have you. As mentioned, the judges have an important role, so it's great to have them with their experience for today. We have 7 finalists or semifinalists, sorry for that, for the event. And I would like to briefly introduce them as well. They have all gone through, of course, through the quarterfinals. So we can, I guess, keep it brief. Hannah is an actuary from Cape Town, South Africa, working in actuarial consulting at PwC. She will be presenting FlexSurance, an income protection product for the informal workforce, which combines actuarial science and AI to extend inclusive protection at scale. Muna is an actuary and risk manager with over 8 years of experience who loves building from scratch, based in Ottawa, Canada, working at the city of Gatineau and representing the Canadian Institute of Actuaries. Gustavo is a Dominican Colombian actuary with 12 years of experience in Latin America and a member of the Asociación Colombiana de Actuarios, Society of Actuaries, and the Institute of Faculty of Actuaries. He recently completed a master's in biodiversity, conservation, and management at Oxford after recognizing the insurance sector's impact on nature, and now leads portfolio innovation at Sudamericana. From Iztapalapa to the world, Fernando, a Mexican health actuary, presents an idea aimed at reducing the health access gap through global collaboration and actuarial tradition. Next up, Taryn from Cape Town, South Africa. She has experience in the health sector, life insurance sector, and the actuarial infrastructure sector. She enjoys building dashboards, coding, reading, and running. Sheila is a student of the Casualty Actuarial Society from Manila, Philippines. Her topic explores combining climate finance with inclusive insurance to expand protection for vulnerable communities. Last but not least, Christelle is a consulting actuary at Insight Life Solutions with 8 years of experience working both in industry and in consulting. She has a passion for innovation within the life insurance industry and is interested in how non-traditional rating factors can be used to make a positive impact to both insurers and the life they protect. So, welcome. Wish you best of luck for what's about to come. But before we can start, I have the pleasure to make a random draw how we are going to proceed and who is going to start. And I very much hope, and you have to trust me, that it's working the way it's supposed to be. First up will be Fernando. Second will be Christelle. Third, can have a look at it. Third will be Muna. Number 4 will be Hannah. Fifth will be Gustavo. Number 6 will be Taryn. And I very much hope that now number 7 will be Sheila. From that, I'm very happy to hand over to you, Fernando, to start with your 1-minute elevator speech.
Thank you, Henning. Can you hear me well?
Yes, wonderful.
Perfect. I will start. According to the World Health Organization, today almost half of the global population lack access to essential health services. Furthermore, more than 100 million people fall into poverty every year due to out-of-pocket health expenditure. And of course, this is a very complex problem, but I believe that actuaries have the right skills and mindset to help reduce this gap. Hello, my name is Fernando de la Torre, and my proposal is to build a global actuarial collab, a co-creation platform where actuaries around the globe can work together to adapt already proven health solutions across borders. And the idea is not to just make a copy-paste of these solutions, but to take what works in one context, analyze it, and turn it into robust models that other countries can use. Always ensuring compliance with local regulatory requirements, data privacy, and intellectual property. Because in an era where AI is rapidly expanding our actuarial capacity, I believe that true innovation do not come from technology alone, but from our willingness to collaborate and to find solutions to real human problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fernando. I guess, Carla, the sound in between marks the 60 seconds, right? Good. Then let's go with that. Second would be Christelle.
Thank you. So what if our health and insurance risk depended as much on how we live as on our genetics? That's where epigenetics comes in. While genetics reflect the traits we inherit, epigenetics captures how our environment and behavior, such as diet and exercise, leave measurable marks on how those genes function. Unlike genetics, these changes are dynamic and reversible. For life insurers, this moves risk assessment beyond static factors like age and gender to a more dynamic and measurable view of lived risk. Epigenetic testing can estimate risk factors like biological age, the body's true age, and the impact of long-term smoking exposure, enhancing underwriting and pricing, reducing adverse selection, and rewarding healthier behavior. Epigenetics turns a snapshot into a moving picture. Our genes set the scene, but our lifestyle shapes our story and risk profile. Thank you.
Thank you, Christelle. Then, Muna, it's your turn.
Okay, do you hear me very well?
Yes, wonderful.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm Muna, representing Canada. As actuaries, we spend our lives predicting risks and mortality. I ask myself a simple question. Why don't we use those same tools to protect the most important asset we all have, we all share, our health? My project applies actuarial models to fitness and nutrition. I built a concept where your wearable data becomes a risk dashboard that warns you before injury or burnout. It's not a fitness app, it's actuarial prevention in real life. It's a new future for insurance, where actuaries don't just measure risk, but help people avoid it. I believe actuaries should not only predict how we die, but help people live better, longer, and stronger. If you believe actuarial science belongs in everyday life, please vote for my video. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Muna. Next up, Hannah.
Thank you. Okay, I'll start now. The era of rapid technological advancement has propelled insurance into territory long believed to be unattainable. Yet as we race ahead, a fundamental question remains. Who's this innovation really serving? Around 60% of the global workforce earns informally and are therefore beyond the reach of traditional income protection products. Yet for them, illness or injury doesn't just disrupt life, it instantly ends their ability to earn. So while technology has moved forward, traditional insurance has actually left millions behind. And this is where Flexsurance comes in, offering flexible income protection designed for the informal workforce. All they'll need is a cell phone and a mobile wallet. Actuaries and AI will see to the rest. But Flexsurance isn't just a product, it's a scalable business model designed for multiple solutions and for rich and poor alike, because ultimately, innovation only succeeds when it's guided by tradition, grounded in diversity, and designed for inclusion. My name is Anna Gillemie from Cape Town, South Africa, and through Flexsurance, we can ensure that in an uncertain world, no one is left behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Then Gustavo, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Gustavo Cabrera. The insurance industry is built on one silent assumption, that nature keeps working, that rivers will flow, crops will be pollinated, forests will prevent floods, and ecosystem will regulate disease. But today, natural capital is falling faster than any other form of wealth, representing a solvency problem in slow motion. What if insurance didn't just respond to this ecological collapse, but used its enabling power to shape the economy and prevent it in the first place? Grounded in my Oxford research, I built a pathway to turn insurance into a nature-positive engine, connecting actuarial and ecological sciences, creating products to protect ecosystem services such as pollination and flood regulation, and using insurance as a guarantee to scale conservation and sustainable investment. Insurance already safeguards the economy. Now it must protect the systems that protect the economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gustavo. Then Taryn.
Okay. Good day. I'm Taryn Peterson. In South Africa, we experience load shedding, which are planned power cuts due to supply shortages. This disrupts small businesses and the economy. Consider the worst case scenario, a future where load shedding persists. Now imagine a solution, automatic insurance payouts triggered the moment a load shedding threshold is breached. Using real-time data, oracles, and smart contracts on the blockchain, small businesses receive instant compensation with no paperwork and low admin costs. Now imagine the best case scenario, a future where load shedding ends. It might seem tempting to throw away the entire idea, but that would be short-sighted because the real innovation lies not in the response to load shedding, but in the infrastructure beneath it. At the heart of this product is the use of stablecoins, reserve-backed digital currencies that can reshape both sides of the balance sheets, from claim payments to reserving and capital management. This is why stablecoins aren't just a technological shift, but they challenge how we think about risk and regulation, and I believe insurers are uniquely positioned to lead that change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, Sheila.
Thank you. I joined this competition to bring forward a reality that many of the world's poorest countries and communities are paying the highest price of our climate crisis they're least responsible for. And yet, those same communities often have little or no insurance to help them recover when disasters hit. So, we're facing two problems here at once: climate inequality and a widening insurance gap. And yes, those are very big challenges, but I believe there is a path forward. So here's my proposal: an inclusive parametric insurance with fast, sugar based payouts and small premiums kept affordable through climate reparation pools, where high emission industries and developed countries contribute to these pools to support coverage for the vulnerable communities. And this is where actuaries come in. We design the triggers, pricing, and safeguards so protection shows up fast, fair, and doesn't fail when it matters the most. Good evening.
Thank you very much. And I'll wait until the music is done. Thank you very much to all 7 of you for the elevator speeches. Very impressive. Thank you very much. As mentioned in the beginning, all the participants have now the opportunity to vote. You can choose your personal favorite, and the 4 with the highest votes will go on to continue. And I'd like to ask Carla for the poll.
There should be able to see it.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to keep this open for 1.5 minutes to give people time to vote.
I see everyone brought their fans, so I think we'll have a very good outcome of the voting.
It seems that everybody has already placed their votes. It's hardly moving. Okay. And here are the results. Henning, up to
Yes,
you.
I think can everyone see them, or is it only me, Carla?
Everybody should be able to see it.
Yeah. So congratulations to Muna on 28% of the votes. Then let me check Gustavo with 23% of the votes, 21% for Hannah. And then number 4 would be Sheila with 12%. Congratulations, not only to the 4 of you, but to everyone on the great performance. Now comes the hardest task for me to select the 4 right now names.
So we have Mona, Gustavo, Hannah, and Sheila moving forward.
Yes.
Thank you.
So going back to the procedure, I hope, and I count on you to control me, selected the 4 right names for our second random draw. If not, it might get messy, or we do it again. Either way, we start with the first to answer the questions will be Muna. Number 2 will be Gustavo. Number 3 will be Sheila. And number 4 will be Hannah. Just give me a second, then I'll grab the questions. Just 1 second, please. So are we, Carla, are we good to go?
Good to go.
Good to go. Then let me check whether my technical skills are on par with yours. I hope so. Inga, your question to Muna.
Mona, congratulations so far. And my question to you is, you was mentioning specific data like step counting, sleep quality, hydration, and you are disclosing those as one of the reasons to get injured in gym. But what about gym conditions such as wet floor, broken equipment, crowded spaces, which I would say from my experience that is even higher critical risk factors to get injury in gym?
Yes, thank you very much for your questions. I actually, you hit the point because we have a lot of data that we should keep in mind. Actually, the process of data collection would primarily rely on 3 sources. We have the wearable data, like I have said, sleep, heart rate, steps. We have like the user declared information, like training load, nutrition, and we have other we'll say optional contextual data like the lifestyle, the recovery habits, the age. But there will be every time lots of factors that we should keep in mind because the risk of being injured is not really related to the internal body, how it reacts to every situation, but also the other external factor. So I thought only about building the prototype to explaining the idea. I want to to tell people that actuaries can solve problems beyond mortality and the financial sector and insurance sector, and they can go to the human being and solving issues that are related to personal health. And of course, I have to take into my mind and into consideration that will have lots of factors, external factors that may impact positively or negatively the response of the model that we will implement. And thank you very much for your question.
Thank you, Mona.
Good. Next up is then Marit with her question.
Yes, I hope you can all hear me okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. Muna, thank you so much for your video as well as your pitch and a very good answer to Inga. I had a quick question. I really liked the idea, but you're talking about physical health as well as mental health. And when it comes to physical health, you have Garmin, you have the iPhones, they all track a lot of data and they already show us like dashboards that are very similar to yours. But also when it comes to mental health, it is quite hard to get like proper data on it. So how would you see on the physical side that your product is really different than Garmin and iPhones that already have algorithms and probably actuaries to make it? And on the mental side, it's maybe a bit two questions. On the mental side, how it can be better than therapists and doctors?
Yes, thank you very much for your question. I actually got this question a lot when I presented this for my friends, but they didn't ask me the difference between, like how I can say this, to take into consideration the mental health also, because it's like the current concern of everyone nowadays in the world. So when I thought at first at the project, I thought at it as just physically, because I experienced this and I didn't want to get injured while I know how to train and I how to deal with progressive overload, etc. So I just wanted to control this because there are lots of factors that we have to take into consideration. But for the mental health, it's actually a great issue that we can handle. I didn't look for the data that we had to take into our mind, but we can work on that to like have our product dealing either with the physical and the mental health. And for your second part of your question, you asked about what's the difference between other wearables that everyone can use. The wearables only track your data without giving you a warning. My product gives you a warning before having this injury. It's like a dashboard that measures the injury risk before it happens. But also, I'm not a doctor, so I will not be concerned with medical conditions and to give like a medical diagnosis of everyone. But I'm just participating in reducing this injury risk to have like a data, because all of us as actuaries know that when you have data, when you have dashboard, you can deal with every problem, and you can reduce the injury risk. So thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Muna. Next up, Samuel.
Bonsoir, bonjour à tous. Muna, well done for being here and well done for your great presentation. Your actual wellness model sounds powerful in theory, but actual models are only as good as the data feeding them. And that's where I see a major practical challenge. Are you expecting users to manually input every food item they eat, every exercise they do, every night sleep quality? If so, how is it different from any existing app that users abandon because tracking becomes a second full-time job? And wouldn't the very people most at risk of burnout, your target users, are the least likely to have time for obsessive data entry?
Yes, thank you very much for your question. I actually, at first, I thought about maybe we can use artificial intelligence to make models seem very easy. But I ask myself, what you have when you develop a new idea, you have to start from scratch. You have to start from the models that have been for years tested, and you can validate them. So I started with, let's say, actuarial intelligence instead of the models that are available. And what I thought is, what will be the difference between any other device that only track the data? And we should the data will be here, but for me it's like the exercise is in prediction. And the other concern is that we should talk to users and to tell them what are the frequencies for like dealing with this database that we will have. And there will be so many concerns. I know data collection, data accuracy, privacy, the ethical use. There are a lot of concerns, but what I'm thinking about is that actuaries can go beyond the traditional thinking. This project wouldn't be only mine. I think it's the project of all the actuarial community. I am open to all the critics, to all the remarks, to all the new ideas that will reinforce my idea, and we can go further. For me, the actuarial science shouldn't be only stick to the traditional thinking about mortality and financial sector. It can be applied to human being. So thank you very much for your question.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Muna. And you did great, even though I did not share the question, but thanks for making up on that. I'll do better now. Next up are the questions to Gustavo. Samuel, luckily, it's again you.
Okay, sorry. Oh, now I've got it on my screen, so that's even better. Gustavo, well done for being here. Your proposal calls for collective action across the insurance industry to address biodiversity loss, competing insurers working together to establish nature interfaces, redirect capital flows, and implement biodiversity positive solutions. But you're proposing this at a moment where political will for environmental action is weakening globally. How do you create a meaningful coalition among fierce competitors when there's no regulatory forcing mechanism requiring them to participate? What stops this from becoming a tragedy of the commons where everyone agrees biodiversity matters, but each insurer waits for the other to bear the cost while they focus on quarterly earnings?
Thank you, Samuel. I think your question is very precise for the challenges that we're facing in the world nowadays. For the first question of the political instability that we are living on today, I want to recall on the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report of this year, 2026, and how the short-term risk from last year shifted. Last year we had, for example, extreme weather events as one of the short-term top 2 risks. Now we have geoeconomical confrontation and misinformation. But in the term year time frame, we still have these global weather events, biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse, and changes in the Earth systems. So this evidence is an argument of how we should think of challenges that we're facing as a population altogether, and how regulation is important to give us clues of how to internalize the impacts, dependencies, risks, opportunities that our insurance activity have in all lines of business through cost of capital, through reporting standards such as the ISSB in initiatives of working together with the Task Force for Nature-related Financial Disclosures. And all this will start permeating the whole financial systems and the different sectors in the economy as a consequence. So I think there should be both the regulatory framing as a top-down approach, but also the bottom-up approach of entities understanding these impacts and dependencies and their financial and economic sustainability linked to these impact dependencies and how they traduce these to risks, opportunities of their own operations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gustavo. Next question comes from Inga.
Gustavo, good evening. I'm coming from Nordic, where nature is very, very important topic, and therefore I'm really sharing with you thoughts about biodiversity, sustainability, and so on. But what is happening in the practice? In the practice, we see some indications that if we are adding more extra measurement and more extra reporting criteria, insurers are beginning to refuse services in order to meet their target outcomes. So that is really from my practical experience. Unfortunately, we see it from large insurance companies, from reinsurance companies, right? Refusing services. And therefore, my question to you is, how can we ensure that strengthening sustainability reporting requirements will not make wider, bigger insurance gap?
Thank you, Inga. And this is also a very important question, and I think it relates to Samuel's question in some aspects. And it's in my video, I mentioned how the first stage of this pathway of large-scale transformation for the insurance industry to become a nature positive engine is to creating an interface with academia, with reporting standards, with science, to integrate and have consensus in how we measure these pressures, these impacts, these dependencies, these risks, opportunities that every business have in specific socioeconomic activities and how they depend on specific ecosystem services, such as, for example, water provisioning, pollination for food supply chains, how this impacts our health portfolio and life insurance as a whole, how we think of global disasters and how we could create nature-based solutions to enhance resilience in coastal populations via restoring mangroves, coral reefs. So these initiatives need to have an homologated and consensuated way of measuring this transformation in every direction, both positive or negative. And I also mentioned how the Nature Positive Initiative is trying to create consensus of the state of metrics, the state of nature metrics, to understand how different actions that we could take on pressures on the environment could change the state of nature in both a positive or negative way. So if we integrate this consensus with, for example, the work that the ISSB is doing, ESRS, E4 in the European regulation, and the different taxonomies that are around Australia, Colombia, there will be more meaningful reporting and therefore integrating that into portfolio design at the end.
Thank you, Gustavo. And then, last but not least, Marit, your question?
Thank you for your video, Gustavo. I really enjoyed it, as well as your pitch and your other answers. Your video and also your pitch today is really focused on insurance companies, and I know it's about insurance products, but you also talked about like the portfolio and how these type of things can enhance our portfolio. So I assume like assets returns as well, next to the beneficial things to the environment. But if you look at the total assets under management, I would say that insurance companies, they definitely are a big part, but they're not like when it comes to big institutional investors, pension funds, sovereign wealth funds, foundation, endowments, they are also very, very big. Do you think they would play a role as well to maybe make it a bigger impact? Or would you only think that your idea really works for insurance companies and hence only like a relatively small part of the total institutional portfolio?
Thank you, Marit. And thank you for bringing this to give me the opportunity of talking about the insurance industry as an enabler of the economy as a whole in all sectors. And both insurance and finance, the financial sector as a whole, is an enabler via credits, financing, or insuring socioeconomic activities that wouldn't happen otherwise. So this is why the insurance industry has the potency of creating a differentiated portfolio to catalyze restoration, catalyze conservation, but also in my second portfolio idea, which is like insurance as a conservation guarantee, this is the idea of how to link specifically insurance with financial or sustainable investments. And this could be seen as a part of or a single link of the Global Biodiversity Framework targets, specifically Target 19, that is redirecting at least $200 billion by 2030 to conservation and restoration. By now, we have many investments funds being directed to conservation, restoration via the IDB, the Global Environment Facility, and local governments. But insurance could serve as a de-risk mechanism to drive more both public and private investment. And in my idea that I mentioned, a specific example of how to do this is replicating the fundamental of catastrophe bond, when the element at risk is not just a single catastrophe of a hurricane category 5 occurring in the Caribbean, for example, but measuring maybe not in a 1 year time frame, but a longer time frame, the degradation of an ecosystem service dependency, or the impacts that this could have in human health, for instance. So it's a holistic approach to the economy and the society.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gustavo. Then we jump over to Sheila and Marit. It's again you.
And I have to quickly unmute again. Well, Sheila, also thanks to you for your video and your pitch I just heard. Your idea is very, very nice. And it's obviously it's helping people that are in need. But if the funding needs to come from other countries, which it's an ideal world, right? If the countries that are actually making the climate worse or have the most money, that also comes from using that climate, using our world to their own benefit, and they give back to the people that are actually hurt the most from it. It's an ideal world, but especially in the current climate of the US backing out of a lot of ESG type of initiatives, or maybe even other countries where also the political climate can change. What if funding is not there? Do people lose their insurance? Like how will that work?
Yeah, thank you, Marriott. I think that's a very real concern because, first of all, I think climate cooperation and this kind of thing is never perfectly unified. And as you said, and I think just recently, like the US, they just back out again from the Paris Climate Agreement. So I think in terms of your question, this is why I am anchoring the idea on the mechanism that already exists under the United Nations or the Loss and Damage Fund. I think it was created precisely because the world recognizes that some harms or climate risks need shared support. So the collection and collaboration piece or coordination piece is not something we are inventing from scratch. And now, if a country refuses to participate, I think number one, it's very important that we don't build a solution that collapses if one player or one country walks away. The funding approach has to be diversified. The loss and damage support or the climate reparation pool where available is there, but we have to add some stability layer, or like we can welcome local funding from the government or plus other private and public sectors as partners. And it's also important that we have to like prove results, because in practice, I feel like progress often starts with the countries and the institutions that do show up. And if we can demonstrate that fast and transparent outcomes, it becomes easier to attract broader support over time, because I think by nature people join what works, right? And if someone says this is irrelevant to our issues in the country, and I think I respect that, but I will answer that calmly, that climate risk becomes everyone's issue, even if you would like live far away, because one way or another it will affect you through like supply chains or migration pressures. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next one, Samuel.
Thank you, Sheila, and well done for being here, and well done for your videos and presentation. You've identified a fundamental tension. Even microinsurance premiums are unaffordable for the poorest communities when basic survival is a priority. This essentially means climate reparation pools would need to be subsidized, not just part, but likely 100% of premium for the most vulnerable population. This creates, for me, two serious concerns. If external funding covers the full cost of climate insurance for a country's poorest citizen, what incentive does the national or local government have to invest in prevention or adaptation? And how do you prevent this from becoming a system where governments outsource their responsibility for citizen protection to international charity creating long-term dependency rather than resilience?
Thank you, Samuel. And I very much like that question, really, because I'm hoping the goal of this project isn't just to like pay after disaster. I'm hoping it's also to help families recover and reduce risk in the long term. And now, in terms of like incentives that are realistic, um, honestly, I haven't thought much about that, but I think I will just cite some things that I read from some SDG frameworks. And I think the first idea that comes to mind is that incentives, um, we can use some incentives for reinforcements. Like when they receive payout, we can offer a simple option. Like if they use part of it for safer repairs, like stronger roofing or basic flood protection at their homes, they get a small extra support in like a very practical form, like a voucher or discount from our partners for even like safer materials or something like that. And that would help them recover the people and reduces future losses. So it supports some also SDGs like tied to I think poverty reduction or safer communities and resilience. And the second thing is we reward preparedness and risk reduction at the community level. We can work with local partners to recognize simple actions that reduce damage for everyone, like keeping drainage maybe clear before a storm or protecting their water sources or strengthening their community early warning and evacuation readiness. Maybe the community that meet basic preparedness steps can receive lower renewal costs or priority access to subsidized cover in the next season. So yeah, but I just want to be clear that this doesn't mean insurance replaces government planning or infrastructure, but it can support its direction and the SDGs by doing two things at once, like fast recovery and direct them to safer decisions for the long term.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Inga, please.
Thank you, Sheila. That was really great to see your topic. I really enjoy it. And again, I was happy to share my experience from the projects what I had in my country. And we were trying to find a solution for a climate insurance gap. We found that one of solutions could be through public-private partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, there are again two hands. If you are looking on a private insurers, there will be financial objectives. And if you could just give more insights about your proposal for your microinsurance, if I understood correctly, you are more referring to public model instead of that public-private partnership, right? You was referring that insurance will support, but at least I understood that insurance from a public resources, public funding, instead of private insurance. So if you could collaborate a little bit more, why it is so focused on public instead of that PPP?
Thank you, Inga. I think the big idea here is that we shouldn't rely on just one source because I think that's very fragile and it's very risky. So the subsidy can come from a mix of number one, it's the international climate finance, including the fund for responding to loss and damage. If you haven't heard of it, countries set up a global fund under the UN climate processes specifically for or to help vulnerable places deal with climate risk. And it's the kind of losses and disruption that happen after major floods or droughts. And a portion of that support can be used to make coverage affordable for vulnerable households. But we would also welcome co-funding from national and local government, as I have shared earlier. I mean, when payouts are fast and rules-based, it reduces the pressure on like emergency aid and helps communities recover faster. So I think government have a practical reason to share also the cost. And regarding the private sector, I think private market or specifically private insurance markets still carry the risk. Insurers and reinsurers provide the machinery and the backup for extreme years with regulated modest returns. So, one so that one very bad season doesn't wipe the systems out, or it wouldn't collapse this kind of product. So yeah, I think and to also just answer how do we keep it sustainable, I feel like we have to prove that it works firstly, that fast payouts real it should real reach in high risk areas, and there will be good feedback from the people. But I think there's also a concern of like we have to make stable commitments, multi-year support, and transparent public reporting so that the subsidy doesn't again disappear after one mega cat year or one budget cycle. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. This now brings us to our fourth contestant, which would be Hannah.
Thank you,
And the
Eamon.
first question from Samuel.
Hello, Anna. Well done for being here, and well done for your presentation and video. Flexurance is designed for workers in the informal economy, people without formal employment verification, pay stubs, or traditional documentation. The system relies on self-reported income data, mobile technology, and AI to adapt premiums and trigger payouts. This creates significant opportunities for fraud and abuse. How do you verify income claims from a market vendor or gig worker who operates entirely in cash?
Thank you, Samuel. So a very big portion of Flexurance is definitely operating in the informal and the low income market, therefore, and various measures are in place to ensure that the products are sustainable. And one correction I would make in my video, or just phrasing it otherwise, is that you have active and inactive state premium. So active state premium is a day on which you actually work, and you specify that on the platform, and an inactive state premium is a day on which you don't work. So there is that continuous cycle of receiving premiums, just to keep that continuity. But in terms of verifying the claims, there is a few layers. So for example, I mentioned community validation. The idea for community validation is that everything will work on an instant messaging app, for example, WhatsApp or Telegram. So that is where that continuous relationship building would happen as well. So the moment you have a claim, you notify on the platform that you've had a claim, and the system automatically flags Flexurance users close by who can verify your claim for you. So when you onboard onto Flexurance, there will be facial recognition and voice recognition as part of the AI claims verification. Your claims would be a video or a picture as well as a voice note. For example, if you broke your arm and you go to the doctor, it would be a picture of the slip that the doctor gives, and then business validation would come in. So when you notify the claim, the business can verify that claim through the verification as well. And then there are a lot of other measures also in place. For example, the loyalty programs, so that encourages the persistency of the members as well. But in terms of the cash, everything would happen online. So on the app, so it's through mobile wallet and in airtime. So the money runs there. So yes, every claim will also be operating there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Next up, Inga, your question.
Yeah, Han, thank you for your video and also elevator speech today. I would like to refer back to your video, because in video you was specifically stating down traditional principles which will be included in insurance product. So you was referring to fairness, mutuality, and sustainability. Could you please provide further details on how the principle of mutuality will be implemented in Flex Insurance?
Thank you so much, Inga. And how I see mutuality is really the pooling of risk and that everyone gets a chance at cover. So as I mentioned, Flexurance will be tailored specifically for the informal market. So you don't have to verify your income, you just pay an income every day. So how I see it to work is you onboard on a WhatsApp app, and there's claims verification and facial recognition to onboard, limited underwriting, and you get a chance at cover. So today in the traditional income protection sense, we have static premiums and we have static benefits. We don't have something that varies, where with Flexsurance, the idea really is having interactive insurance and innovative insurance where there's a daily relationship, things like a loyalty program to gamify education. So every day, by means of AI, you would get a video explaining to you what is insurance, what is a premium, and really including. So how I see mutuality is giving everyone a chance, being inclusive, because currently income protection in the traditional sense is exclusive because not everyone can get it because they don't have pay slips, they don't have the traditional structure, they don't have a formal employer. But as I mentioned, it does mean that everyone gets a chance. So it's micro premiums pooled at scale, meaning your premium could be $1 in an active state and 20 cents in an inactive state. And from what I've seen in the market, it doesn't exist anywhere. It exists in bits and pieces in terms of micro insurance, but not in terms of flexible premiums, because we will only be able to tap that market once we allow for flexible premiums and flexible benefits that flexes with the user's life. So yeah, like I mentioned, mutuality for me means giving a chance to everyone and the pooling of all types of risk, not just the traditional covered market that we've seen. As I mentioned in my video, around 60% of the global workforce works informally, and some believe it to be even higher. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. And that already brings us to the very last question for today. Marit, please.
Thank you, Hannah, for your pitch as well as your answers in your video that I watched. I really enjoyed it. You talk about the more the informal part of the workforce, generally lower income, maybe also lower educated, if I may say so, or at least large part of it, maybe also outside of cities as well. So maybe in villages. These are generally people also because they have to sign up for their own insurance, because as you say, and you're very correct, they don't have like the regular insurance that we know, at least not on their income, because they don't have a regular employer, etc. You have to reach them because they generally don't have the insurance, so they have to do it in their own initiative. And like it could also be that they see it as, hey, my net income is going to be lower because I have to pay for this insurance. How do you think you can reach them, this particular group that is quite hard to reach when it comes to insurance?
Thank you, Marit. I'm very excited about this question. And this is a very important point and a very crucial part of Flexsurance. And the way in which we can really reach this community is to go where the money flows. So firstly, to embed onto apps. For example, if you embed Flexsurance onto the Uber app, it means that automatically you're mitigating the risk of diversification and volume of business if you could have it on app. And then also social media will play a very important role. I mentioned previously the idea that I have of loyalty programs. So the idea of a loyalty program is that you get points for verifying valid claims, for consecutive covers on your 1 week, 2 week anniversary, for watching educational modules. So every day you would receive an educational module. So what is a premium, for example? And if you watch it, you get loyalty points. If you share a video on social media about Flexsurance, you get loyalty points. So it's really to gamify the learning experience. So education is a critical part of Flexsurance into ensuring that you build that trust and also understanding, because they won't buy something they don't understand. Social media really will be a very important part of Flexsurance because in all sectors of the market, informal, formal, rich, poor, everyone uses social media. So advertising there, explaining there. But like I said, the idea of the loyalty program that will eventually, as you accumulate points, pay out in cash or vouchers every month or so, the idea is to encourage the understanding thereof. So I mentioned the embedding onto apps, the loyalty program, and then also to go into familiar places. For example, churches play a very big part in the low income sector, if you will, and working through those trusted sources as well will be very important for Flexsurance. But ultimately, nothing at this stage where we are with technology at our fingertips should be impossible. We should innovate. We do have technology at our fingertips to innovate, to overcome what we previously saw as impossible, and that can be done through Flexsurance. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much and congratulations so far. We'll now give our judges approximately 10 minutes time to bring together their views, their ratings on the presentations, on your answers. They, well, luckily for them, unfortunately for us, they will leave us now into a separate Zoom call to give them enough privacy. Good luck, and I know you'll do your best in finding a good result.
See you soon.
See you soon.
See you.
Now that they are all gone, it was a great pleasure. Congratulations, and thank you very much for your presentations, for your input. Thank you very much in the very first step on deciding to join the Young Actuaries World Cup. We now have the opportunity to spend a couple of minutes together and enjoy the other participants until we wait for the results. You've all gone through the first round, the quarterfinals, and the semifinals. Perhaps you could elaborate a bit on the difference between, well, first presenting the video, producing the video, and now really pitching it and answering the questions again. How was your experience this time perhaps different than last time? Just shoot the ones who want to.
Okay, I think I'll go first. So for me, the very big difference is, of course, the elevator pitch. I think it was so valuable to be able to summarize your thought with an additional 1 minute. I can only speak for myself and not the other contestants. But of course, at the time where you think about your idea and pitch your idea, you don't always follow it all the way through. So as time passes, you think about it more and more information and more ideas come to you. So the quarterfinals, of course, you had the opportunity to answer the question, but it was really nice to just provide an additional layer in the elevator pitch. I must be honest, I haven't done an elevator pitch since my first year of work. So this was definitely a somewhat new experience. Felt like I have the memoryless property, exponential distribution. But yeah, it was great.
Wonderful, thanks. Perhaps someone else joining in?
I can join.
Yes.
I agree with Hannah. I think it was an interesting exercise to like condensate all ideas into just 1 minute and be sure that live I could say the same elevator speech within the time frame of 1 minute and not be like exceeded. I also found questions way more specific and challenging at this stage. But yeah, it's exciting to be here and have the opportunity to share these interesting ideas with the community. I think it's the purpose of participating in the Young Actuaries World Cup more than the trophy at the end. I think we all have ideas that can generate very positive impacts in society, in the environment, in the economy, and we should be like keep the boys rolling, basically.
Great. Thank you, Gustavo. Muna, Sheila, something you would like to share?
Yes, I can go. The difference between the quarterfinals and the semifinals was for everyone, we presented in the quarterfinal the video. So for people who didn't watch the video, they can see it again and be impacted, etc. But now we had to summarize this video in a short elevator speech and to tell it with enthusiasm to let them vote for you and also to gather your community, etc. We know that the actuarial community is the best. They are present all over the world, and we feel every time supported by the actuarial community. So we hope that we will have editions like this. This campaign of Young Actuaries World Cup is very, very, very interesting, especially for young actuaries. Now I'm telling myself I'm 31 years old, and I'm telling myself I will not have this condition anymore because I have the condition of all actuaries under 35 years old. But it was very interesting.
That's great. Thank you very much, Muna, for sharing. Sheila, please.
I think on the other hand, in my case, I'm still very early
in my career. I mean, I'm not even halfway through all of the electoral exams. I'm not even a qualified actuary with a big A. So yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to present here. I mean, I know the purpose of this competition is to bring forward an idea that we believe is worth building. And this is a great opportunity to hear about a lot of people suggesting a lot of solutions to problems that matter. And yeah, I think that's exactly the point of this competition. It exists so young actuaries can bring ideas into the open, test them, and also start solutions that could turn into real collaboration. Because I think all of these that we were presenting earlier, they aren't just an actuaries only problem and solution. It also needs other sectors, like can be also other people from other disciplines. So all of those working together. So yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity to be here. And yeah.
Great.
And again,
Thank you.
Sorry.
Perhaps picking up on one of the points you mentioned about your own communities and then how you reached out to them, and you all brought, well, I would say at least a handful of supporters, which is awesome. Perhaps if someone wants to talk about it a bit, how the reactions were from colleagues, from former people you met at universities while during your studies. How was the feedback? Someone might want to go first.
I'll go first again. So my experience was very positive. I made a promise to myself last year that I will be more brave. I will put up my hand for more things. And I think, again, I can only speak for myself, but sometimes you don't want to risk or try new things out of fear of not making it. And we must so get over that and absolutely just try everything we can. And I am very blessed. And I think if I see all the comments going, we all are very blessed to have people from all parts of our lives. And I think a benefit maybe there is that because a lot of people don't come from an actuarial background, I do think everything sounds impressive, to be honest. But it has been very heartwarming, really, to see the support from colleagues and friends and family alike. Mona, how was your experience? If I can hand the mic over to the next person.
Please do so.
Yes, thank you, Anna. For me, it's the same. I had like my little circle of family, friends, actuaries all over the world, and also my work circle. And they were like, when they thought that the idea I was participating in a competition, they told me that they will give me support as with much confidence and with much love that they can. But also when you expose your idea to actuarial community that is related to your association, they feel proud. I don't know how to explain this, but they feel like you are representing them in internationally with the all over the world. All the world will see like this association being visible in social media and in especially in LinkedIn. So it was really beneficial.
Wonderful. Thank you. Perhaps Gustavo?
Yep, thank you. Well, I think I'm surrounded by angels in my life, and participating in this competition is being another proof of that. And I always feel this. I always think of other people that surround me believing in me more than I do, and that's really encouraging when I don't have the enough strength and willingness to face these types of events. But then when I see all people surrounding me and supporting me, it's really beautiful and encouraging. And yeah, my pathway has been very specific because I came from the Dominican Republic. I have been living in Colombia for 11 years now. I'm Colombian, and I've been crossing paths with many different circles recently when I did my master's, I always also met so many people in the conservation area that are not actuaries, and now they are like here supporting me, and my friends, my family, my colleagues at work, they are all wishing me the best, and it's beautiful to see how they resonate with my idea and my project, and also for them to experience and witness all other ideas is also very valuable. That just for them being supporting, they also have the opportunity to see other actuarial amazing ideas and understand what I do somehow.
That's great. Thank you, Gustavo. Perhaps Sheila, you want to add?
Yeah, I think I just want to like bounce back those messages, and I think for me, I didn't really expect to reach this point in the competition, and I didn't even tell most people that I joined in the first place, even my colleagues, even my families. They didn't know, but seeing their messages, their support. If you also know, my oh, with my speech earlier, we had a lot of drafts for that, and it wouldn't be possible if wouldn't be because of my bosses and my colleagues. So those are really means a lot to me. Yeah, again, thank you for cheering on. This really is means a lot to me. So yeah, really, really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I see our judges coming back. We'll give them a second to join. I think I can see Inga, I can see Samuel, I can see Marit. Fred, you're also back. Then the question is, who is going to tell us the result of your deliberation?
I am.
It would be Marit.
Good, Marit, then the floor is yours.
Okay, so it was actually it was quite hard. We scored, and we, especially number 2, 3, were very, 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 very close. So we have to pick 2, but know that we liked all of you, and it was very, very hard. But the 2 that we're gonna choose are, congratulations, Hannah and Sheila.
Congratulations to the 2 of you. Thank you very much to our judges. And I can imagine it was a hard task this time with not only the 4, but all 7 very great candidates. That would be it for today. I guess so. Carla, I'm looking to you. Did I miss something?
If I may, and I'll just say thank you from my side. It was truly an honor to also get to know everyone. Carla, I'm very rudely interrupting you, but I just want to catch everyone before we drop off to say thank you so much for this incredible opportunity. I'm truly blown away. And thank you to my fellow contestants as well. You were incredible. And even me, I've learned so much about things. And I've been in the industry for so long. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Carla, you're on mute if you want to add something.
Sorry, the only information that I would give you, Hannah and Sheila, is that further information will be incoming over the next couple of weeks for the next steps. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Hannah, Sheila. Good luck. And again, thank you very much to anyone else for joining, not only the competition, but also for today. And I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, rest of the evening, and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.